the recent US tariff decisions that tested the resilience of many countries around the world is one of those adversities that we have had and we have to face. And in response to these tariffs, South Africa has swiftly activated strategies to diversify our trade and our exports. We have re-established trade offices and assistance desks with our various partners around the world, and now more particularly in this part of the world, in this region. In recent years, trade between South Africa and Vietnam has expanded quite significantly. South Africa runs a sizable trade deficit with Vietnam. We import significantly more than we export to you. Between 2023 and 2024, we had a trade deficit of some 30%. South Africa largely exports raw materials to your country in the form of mineral ores, fuels, agricultural products, while your country exports to us in South Africa manufactured goods of high value. Now, this imbalance calls for us to move beyond the traditional trade in raw materials. We need to work together to add greater value to the products that we both sell to one another in the form of diversification and industrial collaboration. It was pleasing this morning to hear a number of your companies, some of whom are represented here, saying that they want to establish businesses in South Africa and they want to establish factories in South Africa to make goods and products from the resources that we have. And as we came in here, the Prime Minister said there's one of the big companies here that imports to Vietnam iron ore. And I wanted to say to the Prime Minister, we would like that company to go beyond just importing to Vietnam iron ore, but to process that iron ore in South Africa and to begin the process of exporting finished or near-finished products that will be saleable not only to Vietnam, but to the rest of the world and particularly to the African market. Now, this is a challenge of great opportunity to all of us, because we similarly want to say to South African companies that Vietnam is also open for business and for investment. In our earlier meetings, there was also a plea for South African companies to come and invest here. As for South Africa, we do have much to offer to Vietnam. We are a rich resource base. We have the advantage of having a very advanced mineral or mining expertise. We have a robust agricultural sector that has developed over many years, and also have an established manufacturing capability. Vietnam, in turn, brings extraordinary strengths in electronics, in textiles, in machinery and renewable energy technologies. So together, we are not competitors. We have complementary advantages that we should utilize to good effect. As countries that are partners that are upscaling their relationship to a strategic one. Together, we can build supply chains that are not only profitable, but also resilient, sustainable, and future-focused. Investments between our two countries are low at the moment. There are a number of financial and non-financial support measures that are available for Vietnamese companies that can invest in South Africa, that are also keen not only to invest in South Africa, but utilize South Africa as a gateway into the rest of the African continent. South Africa has investment opportunities in agriculture, in agri-processing, in mining, and mineral beneficiation that is value addition to the minerals we have, manufacturing, advanced manufacturing, as well as the services sector, amongst others. Our cooperation must extend into strategic sectors that define the economies not only of today, but the economies of tomorrow. These sectors include electric vehicles, which you are already excelling in. We were awed and very impressed when we met some of your companies as they told us that they are now the leading electric vehicle manufacturers. And because we have the minerals that are key and important in the manufacture of electric vehicles, we advise that it would be best if some of the manufacturing activities could be done in South Africa, and if the future of electric vehicles can be seen to be African as well. Now, these sectors, such as battery manufacturing, renewable energy and agro-processing and digital innovation, are key sectors that South Africa and Vietnam can develop great complementarity in. By combining South Africa's natural advantages with Vietnamese manufacturing dynamism, we can create industries that generate jobs, that drive exports, and that strengthen both our nations' positions in the global economy. Now, I stand here today deeply convinced that our partnership has great untapped potential, and that forums such as this are designed and are meant to unlock that potential. When you get business people from both countries that have the great advantage of a very dynamic and deep relationship between the two governments, businesses can only succeed and thrive. South Africa and Vietnam are both strategically placed also within their regions. South Africa, as the most industrialized economy and the largest economy on the African continent, is clearly the undisputed gateway into the rest of the African continent. With the African Continental Free Trade Area now in force, companies investing in South Africa can gain preferential access to a market of 1.4 billion people, representing a combined GDP of approximately $3.4 trillion. Vietnam has distinguished itself as one of Asia's most dynamic and fastest growing economies. Your growth levels are something that we envy. For an economy to grow at 8% in this time of turbulence in the world and global economy, it is something that we are impressed with. And we want to applaud you and congratulate you for having driven the growth of your country and economy against difficult odds, despite the fact that Having been independent for 80 years, you've had to face enormous challenges, but you have demonstrated your resilience and your courage. You are a hub for manufacturing, a leader in agricultural exports, and a key player in global supply chains. Vietnam also provides direct access to the ASEAN market, a region that is itself a driver for global growth. Now, together, our two countries can serve as vital bridges between Africa and Asia, connecting supply chains, enhancing trade flows, and creating new pathways for investment. There are key opportunities for cooperation and collaboration. Coming to just a few specifics, exciting specifics. South Africa is renowned for its wine, and many of you do partake in wine. As I look at you, I can see that you are interested in wine drinking. Last night, we were treated to a very sumptuous banquet by the President, which listed a number of South African guests here, as well as Vietnamese hosts, to get to the dancing floor. And it was as a result of the wine they had imbibed, but it was not South African wine. If it was South African wine, it would have been a lot better. South Africa is also endowed with its fruit, livestock and fisheries, that is meat and its fish, while Vietnam is a global leader in rice, coffee, and seafood. Together, we can build resilient food supply chains. We can foster technology faster, and we can also transfer agro-processing and expand our mutual exports into new markets. South Africa has demonstrated strength in mining, automotive manufacturing, and infrastructure development. These can complement Vietnam's strong base in electronics, textiles, and industrial production. Both our countries are committed to transiting to cleaner forms of energy. We were very impressed as we continued to hear from the companies that we met your country's commitment to advancing renewable energy and green hydrogen projects. We should pursue collaboration on electric vehicle production, as I said. Vietnam can leverage South Africa's mineral wealth through investment and technology partnerships. Both our nations are blessed with unique natural landscapes, rich heritage, and vibrant cultures. I've often said that South Africa is the most beautiful country in the world, but having come to Vietnam, I think Vietnam and South Africa are the most beautiful, outstanding countries in the whole world. So that is a great standing. Now, this beauty should attract tourists from both countries, and it should also enable cultural exchanges. And we can continue to deepen people-to-people ties and strengthen the bonds of friendship between our two societies. We will be giving attention to the one challenge of visas for entry into South Africa, and we will be advancing more to an easier form of obtaining visas into South Africa through an e-visa type of capability to enable Vietnamese to have easier access to South Africa to enjoy the beauty of our country. The future belongs to our youth. Partnerships in education, in training, research, and innovation can empower the next generation to drive inclusive and sustainable growth. There are opportunities for collaboration between our universities and technical institutions to enhance capacity building in critical fields such as science, technology, and digital transformation, as well as the capability on those who want to specialize in the sea sector and the ocean sector and the marine sector. And we are eternally grateful to Vietnam for having enabled a number of our young people to come and study ways in the ocean and also in the seas. We are committed to reducing barriers to trade, strengthening investment protection, which the Prime Minister spoke to me about as we were coming in. He said that Vietnamese business people would like to be assured that there will be investment protection. Prime Minister, I can give you the assurance now that as a country that is deeply steeped in the rule of law, deeply steeped in the independence of our judiciary, and in the independence of our institutions that govern both the political as well as the economic life of South Africa, there will be investment protection in South Africa. So Vietnamese business people can come to South Africa and know for sure that there will be investment protection for the money that they bring to South Africa. To business people who are here today, I'd like you to seize the opportunity to explore these new ventures that are in great number in South Africa, to diversify into untapped sectors, and to build enduring partnerships that will generate jobs and transfer skills and stimulate inclusive growth. And I hope today at this forum, you have the opportunity as Vietnamese business people to interface with South African businesses, to forge partnerships, to move from contact to contract. This business forum is about shaping a shared vision of cooperation between South Africa, Namibia, and Vietnam, a vision that reflects our mutual aspirations for prosperity, sustainability, and human development, and profitability as well. Trade between our countries is not only about goods and services, but it is also about trust. It is also about integrity. It is also about innovation and shared values. We have met business people here who exude trust, who, to our view, base their business operations on integrity, and who are very keen on innovation. It is about ensuring that the benefits of economic cooperation reach ordinary citizens, creating opportunities for workers, for entrepreneurs, and for communities alike. We were impressed as we heard some of your business people here saying, even as they make investments in whatever sectors that they're involved in, they are required by your government to also focus on advancing the interests of ordinary people. A business that is involved in real estate informed us that even as they build houses, they are required that 20% of what they build should be for social housing, and part of it should also be for houses for the poor. That appeals to us because that is the ethos that drives our development and transformation in South Africa. That is the culture that Nelson Mandela taught us to engender, which we are spreading around. The relationship between South Africa and Vietnam is not only built on history, but also on a hope of a future defined by closer cooperation, stronger economic ties, and a deeper mutual understanding. So this business forum should in many ways chart a new course for our partnership. It should be a partnership that builds bridges between Africa and Asia, but more importantly between Vietnam and Namfi. It should build bridges that leverage the strength of our two nations and that delivers inclusive and sustainable prosperity for all our people. We reaffirm our unwavering commitment to work hand in hand with our Vietnamese counterparts, a working together that is based on what we can learn from each other and what we can contribute to one another. Just casting our eyes to the past, as we were deeply immersed in our own struggle for freedom, our leaders came here, and our revered leader, Oliver Tambo, came here to come and learn from how you were prosecuting your own struggle. And he was deeply impressed by the commitment and the courage that he saw here. Today we have come, we've been exposed to how your country has developed and continues to develop. We've also been impressed by how your business sector, both privately owned and state-owned, are driving the economy of your country. And I'm hoping that as political leaders, as well as business leaders who come from Namfi, South Africa, we will leave this place having learned a lot. So we say thank you to you for the knowledge, the experience, and the hospitality that you have imparted to us. South Africa, or Namfi, is closely linked to Vietnam, and we will forever want to cherish that partnership. It is a partnership that, in our view, will help us to go from strength to strength. And lastly, Prime Minister, I know I will see you again shortly in South Africa when you come to the G20. So we hope to extend our own hospitality to you, which will help to cement the further links between us. But we also hope and know that we will be signing a few memoranda of understanding, which will be a clear demonstration about solidifying the strategic partnership that is evolving between our two countries. Together, let us move forward with friendship and partnership to shared prosperity. I thank you to you all. Thank you.